I think the big question there is how he adapts to the car, isn't it? Because there does seem to be this particular challenge he has with this generation of ground effect F1. He's not the only driver to struggle with them, but our colleague Mark Hughes has written quite eloquently about the age thing and Hamilton being in decline being a bit of a red herring, if you like, because it's more about how Mercedes has developed its own car, this flexible front wing, how they use that to back the car out of ground effect and balance the car properly between high and low speed. It means the platform's very flat and stiff and low, and there's not much pitch, which is when the front of the car dives forward under braking. Of course, Hamilton's great strength throughout his whole F1 career has been his ability to brake really late, not lock up the tyres and get the car turned in as quickly as possible, and he hasn't been able to do that with this generation of cars. So the hope from him and his fans will be that the Ferrari is a different story in that regard.
Yeah, I think there's an issue with these ground effect cars, and this theory popping around the end of last year that drivers who've been strong on the brakes and good on corner entry, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, Sergio Perez to a lesser great extent, and Lewis Hamilton have all struggled. They've not been sensational with this rules era. The 18-inch tyres don't give as much kind of movement, and I think that there's been a similar characteristic from all of them, that quick in races, race pace doesn't seem to be too bad, but in qualifying, when you need that grip and confidence, the front's lock, and you don't have that confidence, and the time kind of ekes away. And added on top of that is this problem with the Mercedes, a lot of low speed understeer, which meant really difficult to get the car turned in. So he and George Russell had to rotate an awful lot on the rear. Lewis couldn't cope as much with those kind of the loose rear ends and the snaps of oversteer, and that's where the lap time trickled away. If this Ferrari gives him the confidence on the front, can get closer to Charles in qualifying, and he's up there, I think then it'll be an absolutely fascinating dynamic between the pair of them.
I mean, the inherent characteristics of the Ferrari, it's very good at low speed and quite benign in those types of corners, should help Hamilton. But obviously at the same time, he's got the challenge of going up against someone who's perhaps the fastest driver over a single lap in F1 right now in Charles Leclerc, who also has the advantage of incumbency in the team. He knows Ferrari inside out. So it's not going to be an easy challenge for Hamilton, even if he's back to his best.
No, but I think Lewis is fired up by the challenge. I think he'll feel invigorated by an environment around him. He's going somewhere where it is fresh. He can, start things again. He feels loved. He feels wanted. He'll have the fans behind him. He knows Charles isn't going to be easy. Charles is sensational, especially in qualifying. But I think Lewis has that experience, has that knowledge, has the race pace, has the canniness to deliver the results on the Sunday, even if on Saturdays he's not as close as perhaps he'd like to be.